867-1111 for testing and mitigation. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
There's no place like McKinney's Irish Pub for St. Patrick's Day, so mark your calendars to join in on the fun for their 11th annual Street Festival. The party starts on Saturday, March 15th, with tons of giveaways, a kilt contest, great Irish food, and green beer, and continues on Monday the 17th for actual St. Patrick's Day. Doors open for the bar at 11 a.m. on Saturday and 9 a.m. on Monday, and the street party starts at 2 p.m. both days. Don't miss out on great music and great fun with no cover charge for St. Patrick's Day weekend at McKinney's 8th and P in the Haymarket.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Lincoln's newest restaurant isn't just a typical sports bar. It's the sports bar for so many reasons. Liquid Asset Sports Bar and Grill in South Lincoln has 23 beers on tap and 36 TVs featuring all things sports from MLB to soccer to golf and more, and football, of course, in the fall. Stop by for their grand opening this Friday, March 14th, and enjoy great food and drink selection at Lincoln's newest go-to, Liquid Asset Sports Bar and Grill at 27th and Jamie Lane in South Lincoln.
Are you a detail-driven leader with a passion for radio? 93.7 The Ticket in Lincoln, Nebraska is hiring for an operations manager. You'll oversee computerized traffic, programming logs, set on-air schedules, and ensure quality for our content. Plus, you'll train on FCC rules, equipment use, and satellite programming. If you're ready to keep the ticket running smoothly and join the team, apply at theticketfm.com.
Coming at you live from the 93.7 The Ticket studio, from the heart of Lincoln, America. Expanding awareness about the TeamMates program and the ever-growing need for mentors. This is TeamMates Timeout with TeamMates CEO Des Moines Adams and Marketing and Communications Manager Ashton Honor.
Happy Tuesday, everyone. Welcome to TeamMates Timeout with DeMo and Ash. You got Des Moines, DeMo, you got Ashton, Ash, and we are back at it. For those of you that were live with us last week, we came up with this new phrase, grind set. When it comes to, we don't smell the roses. Why? Because we have students on this waiting list that they don't need a mentor. They want a mentor. So we're back at it. And what better way than to try to close this loop of everything that we've been talking about, Ash. Couple months ago, in addition to you going to Cancun and all these other places, one of the places you went was Washington, D.C.
Yes.
And you spent some time out there learning from the national mentor, which is like the umbrella. They provide the standards when it comes to elements of effective practice, which we're going to get to. What's nice is mentor puts leaders in place to help oversee certain states.
Right.
And it's nice that, DC, we're just another number. But when we have a leader that helps mentoring efforts here, it's nice that we are people. And we got some people here. Or should I say, I don't know what they call you.
We've got one of the top dogs here with us today.
Yeah.
Boss lady, maybe?
Yes.
I love it.
So, Executive Director of Mentor Nebraska, Melissa Mayo. I like to call her Mayo. Cool last name. And I'm just going to just share a little bit. We did our homework.
Oh, thank you.
Melissa guides and directs strategic leadership, organizational management, fundraising, program development, advocacy efforts, and community engagement to advance Mentor Nebraska mission and impact. Prior to Mentor Nebraska, she worked for the United Way of the Midlands, Latino Center of the Midlands, and P4K. And her top 5 strengths: individualization, relator, maximizer, arranger, and connectiveness. And per the Mentor Nebraska website, you are quoted saying, I believe in the power of mentoring because it is a gateway for empowerment, shared learning, and meaningful connection for both the mentor and the mentee. I told you we were going to introduce you here. We're not giving you no room to get to here. Like, you are starting right here. So
ultimate hype.
So welcome, ED Mayo.
Thank you.
Yes.
Boss lady, La Comandante, I've been called before.
Oh.
Yeah.
Big time.
Big time.
So, Melissa, when you hear yourself being quoted, talk about that. You said, I believe in the power of mentoring because it is the gateway for empowerment, shared learning, and meaningful connection for both the mentor and the mentee. Let's talk about that.
Let's do. Well, I think most of that comes from what I've seen. And so having been in the mentoring field for over 15 years, it really is speaking from experience, not from the research, not from what's written in a book somewhere, but really seeing relationships and how this reciprocity that you see in mentoring relationships. So not just an older person coming in and giving advice and telling, younger people how they got there, but it's really about how do you grow together? How does that mentor walk into that space alongside of their mentee instead of ahead of them? And how do they learn together? And so I think some of the most powerful mentoring relationships have been relationships where both the mentor and mentee have grown together in their relationship.
And, just so that everyone understands the connection, we always talk about how our standards, we didn't just, come up with them and whatnot, but yet, there are higher standards, there are, best practices. And talk about the relationship that you have with National Mentor so that people can understand the work that you do with Mentor Nebraska.
Right. So Mentor Nebraska is a part of an affiliate network. So we have a national organization. And basically what we're doing as the state affiliate is making sure that all of those resources, best practices, what we're learning from the field is also going to mentoring organizations in our state. We are really fortunate to have some really, really cool mentoring organizations in Nebraska and that look a lot different from each other. So how do we apply those best practices and still remain really having the essence of what that program is about? Not trying to make anyone cookie cutter, right? We want to make sure that we acknowledge that mentoring looks different in different spaces. But really, how do we apply those best practices so that those mentoring relationships can flourish and that young people are safe in those mentoring relationships and that they have that longevity, which we know leads to better outcomes for young people. So those best practices really come out of the research. But more importantly, it also comes out of like the experiences of practitioners in programs across the U.S. And what we're fortunate to be a part of is this network that has access to these best practices. And then we get to work alongside of programs in our state to make sure that we're following those standards and practices in individual programs.
I'm surprised that analytical isn't in your top 5.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly a nerd part of me that loves the research and especially the data because, mentoring is a lot about relationships and what you see that isn't always something that you can quantify. But we also know that there's over 30 years of research and our organization and others have been a part of that research. And so that tells the story too.
Now, Melissa, tell the viewers, because Mentor National just released the new set of elements of effective practice. How often is that, like on a 3-year cycle, or how often do they release a new set of practices?
Right. And there's not really a cadence for those best practices because we know that a lot of that is grounded in research, but we also know that there's an evolution in this field, right? So we have to make sure that we're not kind of playing from the old book, right? But we're working on what are we seeing now? What types of mentoring is happening? And how do we apply those practices? So it's been over 10 years since the last edition of best practices has been released. So that's why we're so excited that the 5th edition is out. That we can work with programs regardless of size, where those mentor matches are meeting, and really look at how those best practices apply in those settings.
What inspired you to get into this line of servant leadership work?
Well, I would say in college, I had an opportunity to do an internship. So I was working with young people that were a part of diversion, which is basically trying to get young people out of that pathway of going deeper in the juvenile justice system. And from that, I had the opportunity to be employed in different spaces that related to young people who were impacted by the juvenile justice system, much further in the juvenile justice system. And what I learned was that in my role, and actually what we would call now as a mentor, I learned that often what they were missing were those caring, supportive adult relationships outside of their family, those that could, be a job reference, those that could help them explore what hobbies that they like. And unfortunately, I saw kind of what those impacts were. And I'm not saying that mentoring would have been the only thing that would have helped in those cases, but certainly it was a missing piece. And that's really where I pivoted in my career, was looking at how can we get young people access to those caring adults younger, and how can that impact their trajectory. And so I think that kind of learning some of the hard cases and young people that have, gone off track, and certainly there were some that made it. But more so, I think that where my spirit comes from and where my passion comes from is making sure that all young people have access to mentoring.
Love it.
And you back it up with research. I saw you do a segment on TV with Rob McCartney. Is it
McCartney?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Sorry, my southern accent. She's already made fun of me for saying wrestling. And is wrestling?
Wrestling.
It's the same thing. You're tugging and pulling.
Yes.
But you shared a stat, and would love for you to really unpack this. You said, and based on research, 1/3 of our youth in America lack a positive role model.
Right.
So when it comes to your servant leadership, and I can already hear your heart and just your fire as you're talking, but to back that up with research, help the listeners that we need to get on this other side of the fence to become a mentor. Unpack what that stat means.
Right. So what we call that is the mentoring gap. And that's the 1 in 3 young people that are growing up without a mentor, outside of their family. I think that there are a lot of natural relationships that young people have in their life, family being one of them. But we also know that a mentor plays a different role than a family member, right? It's someone that is thinking about things differently, someone that is, has this role of how can we explore, what you're passionate about? What are the things that you want to see, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, and how can I help you get there? And so this mentoring gap is something that, programs are dealing with, us as a national organization is dealing with. And one thing that we want to make sure that people know that it's a real thing, right? We have waiting lists. Programs report that they can't recruit enough mentors. There are young people that are stepping up saying, I want someone in my life, right? And so that is the work that we're doing. And that's a part of the role that I have is around that education of like what mentoring is not, right? We don't need anyone to fly in with a cape and save the day, right? Like that's not what mentoring is about. But more so it is, what we've talked about, learning, getting to know each other, getting to, maybe have experiences that you would never, ever have by being in a mentoring relationship. Sometimes it's that give and take about learning something about your mentor and conversely learning something about your mentee. So not everyone loves all the same things. I think we've all been in mentoring relationships and we're trying new stuff. But that's the beauty of it. And that's, really what mentoring is all about. And what we need is just folks to take that next step, to take that next step, to have that curiosity of what does it look like for me? And because one day I hope that we can not have to talk about this mentoring gap.
No. And I know one of your roles is to help all of these mentoring organizations work together. I'm just thinking last month we had 100 Black Men in Omaha board member Johnny Rogers on the show just to talk about the fact that, yeah, teammates, yeah, we're looking for more mentors. They're looking for more mentors. At the end of the day, we're just trying to get more volunteers to just fill that gap and just to be that additional role model. How many mentoring organizations are there in the state of Nebraska?
Well, there are approximately 60. We work with about a third of those in a more formal way, but there are so many mentoring opportunities. And I think that what we have found in our mentoring sector is that people want to find a place for that volunteer, that person that's coming forward, whether it's in their program or another program. No one wants to see that they don't find a place to land, right? And so that's what I love about what's happening with teammates and other organizations that are coming together and having, recruitment nights and, are at different events together and really promoting mentorship, period. Right. We all, I know that teammates, I know that you all deal with wait lists and young people that are needing a mentor, but really we are coming together as a sector to have this unified voice around, wherever you have that interest, we can find a place for you.
And that's nice. And, Ash, with you overseeing our marketing efforts and for you to go out to DC and see the broader picture. And that's when you first connected with Melissa and how you guys went out to advocate. Like,
Yes.
You being still somewhat, is it 7 months now?
I think we're going on 7. Yeah,
Okay.
DeMo.
Wow.
So talk about that experience being out in DC, especially, just spending days with Melissa and like what she was trying to do. Like what was that learning curve for you?
So I don't have my top 34 yet, but DeMo tells me I have learner in my top 10 somewhere. However, having the opportunity to meet with Melissa was awesome because you were kind of like my guide. Like you've done Capitol Hill Day, you said 8 years in a row. And so I'm coming in like, oh gosh, like I'm going to need to talk to state senators. Like, how are we going to do this? What are we talking to them about? And you and I sat at that training day, which they had the day before.
Right.
And that was very informative. But even then, it was like so overwhelming with information. Like, okay, I just need to know what's the important stuff. Like, I don't need the fluff. Give me the bullet points.
Right.
And you did such a great job with that. Because then the next day, I'm like, all right, let's go. We're going to do this. The first one, it was a little like, a little rocky until you dive right in. But then just how important it is for all of our mentoring groups to come together and unite and being nonpartisan and like, mentoring is not a party issue. It's an everyone. We need everyone's help. It doesn't matter which side of, the political side that you go on. So having the opportunity to go with you, and I was the only teammate staff that participated in that. So I got to be with the Mentor Nebraska staff all day. And it was so fun to be with your crew and just like learn from you guys and just how well our two groups that day like balanced back and forth, talking to those senators and those House representatives. But it was an incredible experience. And I told both you and Demo, like, that was my favorite part of that conference.
Right. I think it is an opportunity to really, I would say this, it's an opportunity for advocacy, right? And sometimes things get lost in DC because, there's federal policy and there's all these things happening. But in reality, we're there to make sure that they remember that there are people in their state. These are the impacts of this funding. This is how it can support young people in Nebraska.
Right.
And that was really, the purpose of Capitol Hill Day is to say, hey, we're here. There's a lot of great things happening in Nebraska. And also the impacts of how they vote on bills. It can be overwhelming talking about these legislative bills and what do they mean? And there's numbers and letters and getting it all right. But I think what we do is we humanize the work, right? And we talk about what that impact is and talk about what that investment is when we're going, at the federal level of how it could impact young people in their very own state. And so I think it's important that we do that.
And I thought we did a great job of telling that story. Again, we humanized the story and it wasn't all just stats and facts because imagine all day, every day, that's all that they're getting. in all of their meetings. So to bring it back down to earth, and at the end of the day, we do what we do for kids. And I think that's something that strikes a chord with everyone, because these are our young people of today and tomorrow.
Right.
So we're talking 60 plus or so mentoring programs in the state, and your role as the servant leader and the umbrella of all of this, making sure that there are standards, there are best practices that, just so that these programs are sustainable. Um, you know, I've gotten to know you almost 4 years, and one of the roles that I applaud you that I am not good at is the advocacy piece. Like I had no idea, just being that spokesperson.
Right.
Why don't you tell the listeners just kind of that side of your role? Because, I don't think people fully get like the hard work. Like we talk about teamwork and hard work, but there is hard work that goes into making sure that mentoring works. And so help us, the listeners, understand like that other side that I know I don't think I can do, but you do for us, which we appreciate.
Right. And I think that advocacy comes in different forms. So we talked about going to Washington, D.C.
Right.
and, speaking with our elected officials. I think that some of the other things that we think about with advocacy is really about who is telling that story. And one of the things that Mentor Nebraska is really focusing on is having the voices of young people really lead that charge. I think that we're really good as adults in thinking about what should that look like. But if we're going to do this authentically, we have to make sure that those young people who have benefited from mentoring are a part of advising us, right? They're the next generation of leadership. This is the investment in them. And so one of the really the initiatives that we're focusing on in the next couple of years is creating a youth advisory board, so that there are young people from different mentoring organizations like TeamMates and others who've been through mentoring organizations, have been a part of mentoring relationships that can reflect back on, their experiences, and that then can also inform, what are the things that they care about? What are those policy issues that do impact them? And so that's one of the key things that we'll be doing in the next couple of years around advocacy. But of course, advocacy comes in many forms. Advocacy can be about, making sure that, your school officials know that mentoring is a part of support systems that are, helping young people reach their academic goals, right? We already know that mentoring has those positive impacts on academic performance, school attendance, and other type of behaviors. And so it's that education piece. And so that's a part that I love talking about, because it's really relevant in all spaces, right? I think that what we're trying to normalize is mentoring is for everyone and in all parts of your life. I think sometimes we have this kind of not quite the most accurate picture of who mentoring is for, right? Sometimes it's looked at as, maybe it's for the kid that is from a single parent family or who may be living in poverty. And but yet on the flip side, every person in a career field can name someone that helped them along the way.
Right.
Career-wise. So it's okay when you're an adult, but somehow there's a stigma, when you're younger. So we really want to kind of take that out of the equation and really normalize mentoring at all ages of, that growth and development.
Ooh, I want you to hold on to that, because yes, you're right. There is a stigma, and I would love for you to unpack that. What's the other word that she said? It was a gem. Is it humanize? Humanize, huh? Ooh, humanize. Your vocabulary.
Hey. I brought it today.
Hey.
Yeah. I'm trying.
Yeah. So far you're here, and TeamMates Timeout with DeMo and Ash. Stay with us. We'll be back here in 5.
Empower a child today with the TeamMates mentoring program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with the child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option. Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through March 4th is $1 off crisscross pretzels, buy one, get one free on hot dogs, and $2 off on Piedmontese brats. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, and at 168th and Maple Streets in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
There's no place like McKinney's Irish Pub for St. Patrick's Day, so mark your calendars to join in on the fun for their 11th annual Street Festival. The party starts on Saturday, March 15th, with tons of giveaways, a kilt contest, great Irish food, and green beer, and continues on Monday the 17th for actual St. Patrick's Day. Doors open for the bar at 11 a.m. on Saturday and 9 a.m. on Monday, and the street party starts at 2 p.m. both days. Don't miss out on great music and great fun with no cover charge for St. Patrick's Day weekend at McKinney's 8th and P in the Haymarket.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies and it will be breezy with an afternoon high around 59. Tonight, increasing cloud cover and light winds below around 36. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies with calm wind and an afternoon high around 71. Meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Back to Teammates Timeout with DeMo and Ash on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Teammates Timeout with DeMo and Ash on 93.7 The Ticket. We are joined this evening by Mentor Nebraska Executive Director Melissa Mayo. Right before we went to break, you started on this great topic that we want to come back to, and that is the stigma of mentoring. And one of the gems that you dropped is mentoring is for everyone, all ages. We all have a mentor. And one of the Teammates' core values is that of inclusion.
Right.
Let's go back and have you kind of explain what is that stigma around mentoring.
Right. And over the years, it's been something that I've noticed, and maybe I'm a little sensitive about. I don't think I'm that sensitive. Maybe I am, but I think that the power of mentoring is just such an incredible opportunity for young people. However, what I tend to hear, in different audiences is, is it for this segment of young people? Is it for this demographic? Is it for, kids who are living in poverty? Is it for, and I really don't try to buy into that line of thought because I flip the script on them a little bit because what I see is adults, when they're making that connection with mentoring, they can rattle off 3 or 4 people wherever they are in their, kind of career life cycle that really played a part of being where they're at. So whether it was someone formally in the workplace, maybe it was someone that really coached them around, these are the things that you need to work on if this is where you want to be. And there's no stigma with that. Right.
Yeah.
Yet when we are, encouraging young people to seek out the resources that are going to help them be a better person or help them achieve their goals, sometimes there's a negative connotation with it. And that's just not something that I subscribe to or buy into in any way. I think that mentoring is for everyone. We do, if I can go back and nerd out a little bit, we do track data on mentoring matches across the state. And we're seeing that there are young people from all walks of life, right? And then there are also young people who are underrepresented in that data. And those are the times where we're saying, we got to do a better job of making sure that those young people have access to mentoring too. So whether that is young people who are part of the foster care system or may have had, contact with the juvenile justice system or live in a certain part of the state. I mean, we're talking, this affects urban, rural, all parts of our state. And so really it's about access. And when I say normalize mentoring, like let's normalize mentoring for young people like we do for adults. Everyone likes to shout out, who that person was. We could probably sit here and name 2 or at least 3 people in our own lives. And let young people do that too. And let's not, look at it from a deficit perspective, but rather as an opportunity for them to have the same supports that we have as adults. And so that's my soapbox.
I love that. Normalizing mentoring, because the only deficit that I see is the fact that, and I would love for you to add on to this number that I'm about to give you. Right here in Lincoln, we have at least 500 youth that want a mentor, but we don't have enough mentors. You work with other mentoring organizations. And so if you add 500 plus ... how many students are on this waiting list right here in Nebraska?
Right. Our last count was over 2,500 young people. And those are documented wait lists. And we know that it just keeps growing. So that's the reason why I'm here today. That's the reason why we travel all over the state. It's the reason why anytime I can, talk to folks in different spaces, whether it is on the radio, television, in the corporate spaces, in the workplaces, in, wherever it is get involved, right? We have this mentoring gap. We have documented wait lists. We want to make sure that that young people aren't waiting on these wait lists for that long. I mean, think about it. You're so excited, about the prospect of having a mentor and then having to wait months. And, those biggest wait lists that we've seen have been around young boys they're seeking a mentor. So that's definitely a call to action. Trust me, You're not that busy. I hear about everyone, binge watching, their favorite Netflix series. We're talking about an hour a week, 4 hours a month. And we doom scroll that amount of time probably in a day. So, on our phones. So let's be real. I know that people are busy. You have priorities in terms of work and family, and you can fit this in, I promise.
Ooh, Austin, did she just call people out or did she call people up?
Oh, that was being called up all day. All day being called up.
I mean, did you see her eyes with that? Like, you're not that busy. Wow. I'm still stuck on this normalizing mentoring, and to hear that total across the state, across all mentoring platforms, over 2,500 students want a mentor. And yet we're asking people for their time.
Right.
Ask people for their time. What needs to happen for not just Teammates mentoring, but Big Brothers, Big Sisters, 100 Black Men, Partnership for Kids, Friends, Mentoring Works, Community Connections. There's so many other organizations that, we're trying to partner with. But you sitting here as the servant leader, the umbrella for all of our efforts, what needs to happen with all of us to help normalize mentoring in all of these communities that have mentoring programs in their backyard?
Right. And I think it is, the way that you tell the story of mentoring, that storytelling is especially something that resonates with people. So sometimes people have this, idea that you have to be so far along in your career or a certain age or a certain title to be a mentor. And everyone can be a mentor. We have peer mentorship programs. We have high school kids who are mentoring younger kids in elementary school. So if there are high school kids that can be mentors, adults can be mentors. So I think it is seeing yourself in this opportunity. And really, I think what we want to take out of it is that you have to be anyone but yourself. Like, trust me, kids can see right through it, right? They can see when you're trying to, be a cool adult and use the language that you shouldn't be using. I mean, not in a bad way, but, the things they say and you just shouldn't be saying it because, it doesn't sound quite the way that it does when they use, their jargon. But I think it is just, the simplicity of what mentorship is about. It's about being there. It is about showing up. It is about curiosity, asking questions. A lot of times it's about like that listening, right? And so you don't have to come in, as this whole decorated volunteer where you have all of these awards and have accomplished everything that you want to do in life. We have mentors that are college students. We have mentors who are retirees. We have folks that are all walks of life that are great mentors and often, are the ones doing the behind the scenes work, not getting any credit, that are just showing up for kids. And that's what it's all about. So I think that, if maybe you're, a little apprehensive about what this all means, and I don't know if I can do this, take the first step. I think that that's the thing is learn about what programs are in your area. There are different ways of doing that. On the Mentor Nebraska website, that there's a search engine kind of like Google, but for mentoring, and you can find out who's there and you figure out like what works in your schedule. You spoke to Arranger being in my top 5 strengths. I have to figure out what works for me too. Right. And we're all busy. We already talked about that. Right. And so when I was looking for mentoring opportunities, because it's been a couple of years since I've been a mentor with a program, I was thinking about what's going to work for me. And in my case, it was a really structured mentoring opportunity. And so this meant in my community, going to one that has a community center and mentoring will happen on this night, or this night at this time. Whereas others like don't want that structure and they want to, you want to be able to go and check out a basketball game, on this day, whenever you feel like it. So there's those opportunities that work with all kinds of schedules. all kinds of life circumstances. I remember when I was, a little younger, I was a single parent, raising my son in grad school, working full time, and I was a mentor. So I think that you can find that time. You just have to be really intentional about that.
Wow. I mean, talk about the excuses that people make and just the example that you gave. We all have this personal responsibility when it comes to our own household and stuff, but then it's that social responsibility of what we do for our community, for our backyard. And the fact that people can go to, is it
MentorNebraska.org.
MentorNebraska.org to learn about all of the different ways that you can serve and volunteer and serve as a mentor. Mentor matters because students matter. I mean, mentoring is a big deal. Austin, it's only 5:41, man. I'm already hearing the music.
The clock's slow, DeMo.
Oh,
it's slow.
man.
Check your phone, your laptop. Clock's a little slow.
Oh, man. So now I feel like we're just getting started. I mean, like Melissa is on fire. So we got one more segment. Melissa, keep that fire. We got one more segment because I want to dive into just a few more stuff. I know Ash got some questions about who inspired you. You are live with DeMo and Ash on Teammates Timeout, 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be back in 5.
Empower a child today with the TeamMates mentoring program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the TeamMates mentoring program today.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through March 4th is $1 off crisscross pretzels, buy one, get one free on hot dogs, and $2 off on Piedmontese brats. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, and at 168th and Maple Streets in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call today at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies. It will be breezy with an afternoon high around 59. Tonight, increasing cloud cover and light winds, below around 36. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies with calm winds and an afternoon high around 71. Meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Lincoln's newest restaurant isn't just a typical sports bar. It's the sports bar for so many reasons. Liquid Asset Sports Bar and Grill in South Lincoln has 23 beers on tap and 36 TVs featuring all things sports from MLB to soccer to golf and more, and football, of course, in the fall. Stop by for their grand opening this Friday, March 14th, and enjoy great food and drink selection at Lincoln's newest go-to, Liquid Asset Sports Bar and Grill at 27th and Jamie Lane in South Lincoln.
Back to Teammates Timeout with DeMo and Ash on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Teammates Timeout with DeMo and Ash on 93.7 The Ticket. We are joined tonight by Mentor Nebraska Executive Director Melissa Mayo. Melissa, back in January and February, we celebrated National Mentoring Month and Nebraska Mentoring Month. One of the things that both of our organizations did in January was we went to the Capitol, and both you and DeMo spoke at the governor's proclamation honoring those state employees who are mentors. So kind of speaking about the governor, what is the governor's youth mentoring initiative?
Right. So it's a program that actually started pre-pandemic, but Governor Pillen wanted to make sure it was a priority in his administration. So one of the first things that he did was really, kind of jumpstart this initiative where state employees are allowed to volunteer or mentor with an approved organization 1 hour per week. And so this is paid time off. This is allowed in their schedules. And this is really his way of showing, his investment in mentoring and wanting to make sure that employees have this incredible opportunity and that, their jobs aren't a barrier to participating in that.
That was a fun event that everybody was at here. So that was cool. I want to switch gears just a little bit because I know we're on a time crunch and just talk about some exciting things going on at Mentor Nebraska. On April 23rd, you guys will be celebrating the Excellence in Mentoring Awards. Tell us about this awards program and what it entails.
Right. So the Excellence in Mentoring Awards is a celebration that we do every year, and it's held during April, which there's Volunteer Appreciation Week. And so what we do is we ask for nominations in different categories around mentorship, and then we recognize those individuals. And so it is probably one of the hardest parts of my jobs. My jobs. Oh, actually, I must have more. Was that a Freudian slip? I feel like I have more than one job.
You're the big dog. You're the big boss.
So what we do is we secure nominations from community members, mentoring organizations, corporations, and those nominations are read by the Mentor Nebraska staff and board of directors because we're all objective. We don't have any skin in the game, although a lot of our board of directors members are actually mentors in different programs across the state. And then we recognize those folks. We have a virtual ceremony in April. And so that'll be live streamed on April 23rd. And you'll be able to see all the recipients this year. But like I said, it is the hardest part of my singular job, reading through them because there are just so many incredible people, folks that are a part of mentoring organizations. So we have things such as Advocate of the Year, Mentoring Practitioner. So someone that is working in the mentoring organization that's doing great work. Mentor of the Year, Young Leader of the Year. And then we have two new categories. One of them being the Justice and Mentoring for Justice Award. So individuals who are working with system impacted youth There's a new category for that. And then there's also one that aligns with the governor's initiative. So the, let me spit it out. It is the youth mentoring mentor of the year. So one of those categories is around that state employee who is also being recognized in this ceremony. So we have some incredible folks that will be honored. They will be released in April. So this is a little bit of a teaser, but well, I'll have to wait. I know who they are, but I can't be paid off. So I got to keep it under wraps for a few more weeks. But this is just really a recognition of mentoring and all of those people that were nominated.
DeMo, I'm very anxious to hear what Melissa has to say about the question that you always ask everybody at the end of our show.
If you play football for the Huskers,
oh Lord,
what position would you play?
So, being La Comandante, being the boss lady, probably quarterback.
Oh.
And I've got a bit of an arm. You should see me. Like axe throwing. I've got good agility there. I'm very precise. I know that's probably the answer that you always get.
No.
I was gonna say that or the water girl, because I'll do any role in an organization to make sure that that we're successful. So or the water person.
Hey, I mean, like with your fire, I thought you was gonna maybe say linebacker, because the linebackers are also the leaders on defense. But
okay,
you would be one of those quarterbacks, huh?
Well, and you know what? If you would have maybe switched the analogy to basketball, it would have been something that I would probably have a little bit more to say about.
Oh, well,
point guard,
point, yeah, forward, power forward. Those are all things that I can relate to. I know that we live in Nebraska and it's Husker land. I totally get it, but I love basketball.
So give us your Final Four for women's, Final Four for men's.
Oh, I can't. Don't put me on the spot like that.
Hey,
listen. I don't know if you heard. I mean, there are sports teams in Nebraska outside of Lincoln. I know that it's hard to believe, but did you see that my Mavs made it?
Oh my gosh, they punched their ticket.
Right. So I know it may be a long shot. But I gotta go with local.
Okay, so that's one. And who else you got for women's Final Four?
Oh, well, I mean, South Carolina is always up there.
Okay.
Right. Tennessee.
Oh, the Wolves are, yeah.
Oh gosh. We're at the very end. You're gonna make me drag this out. I'm gonna top two. There you go. South Carolina.
Speaking of basketball, DeMo, it's Boys State Basketball Week.
Right.
So we've got to get a shout out to all of our chapters participating, and then a huge congrats to all of our chapters who played in the Girls State Championships last week.
Yes. Pender being one,
yes.
three-peat. And it's so I'm gonna spend some time tomorrow just showing love to a lot of these teams and whatnot. But man, you didn't even say USC.
Or Duke.
Yes.
Or Duke or UCLA. I mean,
right. And we USC, we got some home talent at USC.
Do it?
Uh-huh.
From Nebraska?
Look them up.
Okay, now that was a call out, DeMo.
Oh, yes.
Point guard. Okay. And quarterback. Well, Melissa, you are definitely delivering when it comes to making mentoring happen, helping us to, advance the mentoring movement. We just appreciate your leadership, your servant leadership, and for you advocating for mentoring and helping us to normalize mentoring. And so thank you for being with us.
Thanks for
Ash,
having me.
I'll let you wrap it up.
What do we always say? Go to teammates.org today to learn more information about how you can get involved, join the team, be a mentor. We are back next week with one of our other mentor friends.
Wow.
But you got to stay tuned to see who it is. So have a great rest of your week, and we will see you guys soon.
Empower a child today with the TeamMates mentoring program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the TeamMates mentoring program today.
Salt Mine City is not only Lincoln's newest brewery, but they're also now serving food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their peanut butter and jelly burger with bacon and cheddar cheese, or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. Don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 11 a.m. every day but Mondays at 8th and R.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call today at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and March Madness is here, and Koppel is ready to rock and roll. We just closed the books on a tremendous February, and we're locked and loaded for a big March. True 0% APR is happening right now at Koppel on select new models. Plus, Koppel has over $10,500 off list on other select new models. Our pre-owned truck lot is full of late model low gyms as well. So make that short drive down 144th Street or check us out online at koppelcars.com. All deals with a roof credit, 0% is standalone.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM first.